How's it going, guys?
Good. Wait, why don't you have outfit shop there?
I've got your picture. Oh, where?
I can take more content, man.
There's lots happening here. Oh, there you go. There's lots happening back there, dude. There's some Avengers, Muhammad
I
Ali.
can take all those out.
Today or tomorrow?
Every day.
What's happening, guys? How's quarantine treating you guys?
It's nice. I don't mind it.
You don't mind it?
I don't mind it. I mean, it sucks that we're not in the gym, but I at least have him. And we got like training mats, and we're getting more stuff like this week. And
Okay.
unfortunately, I start my fight camp out of the house, so that kind of sucks. Next week, I start my fight camp, so that'll be interesting. But I mean, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. So they're actually like scheduling fights. People have got an idea of when they think fights are going to be happening.
Well, I signed for my fight already. I
Okay.
just can't speak about it because
Sure.
I have to wait till they post it first.
Sure.
But I mean, I haven't heard anything saying it's canceled, and it's not till July. So
Okay.
from what we're hearing, everything should be back and running in June. So if that's the case, then I know my fight will happen still. And if it doesn't happen in July, like Jason told me yesterday, if it doesn't happen in July, it's gonna happen this year.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Might be a 20-week camp or something.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I'll die. Cheyanne forcing me to stay on a 20-week diet.
You'll be fine.
So that's not
You'll be
gonna
fine. You can have 20 donuts at the end.
We
Yeah,
did
We did
yesterday.
yesterday. I had 16.
We had so yesterday, yeah, I guess the quarantine has been alright, but it's been bad because putting on some extra water, yeah. It's, we had donuts for breakfast, we had a different cake for lunch, and we had cinnamon for dinner.
So we kind of like marked off our bucket list,
Yeah.
like have a whole day of just sweets, no food.
Nice.
And so we tried it. Yeah, it was very nice. And we didn't wake up too heavy.
You should try it.
Ah, that's my daily routine. What are you talking about? I don't need a special day. I don't know, sounds like a Monday to me, bro.
Dad bought
Exactly. And otherwise, guys, it's been a while since we spoke to you. So how's life there in the US, man? You guys, it seemed packed your stuff and just got the hell on out of here in the next plane out. So how's everything been?
Yeah, you know, it's been up, it's been down, it's been
been
good.
everything.
Yeah, it's been everything. I mean, we've seen it all. It's been good, you know, like, it's a good life out here. I won't say we have things as easy as what we had it, or like, as easy as it used to be, but we're basically doing the same thing. We have a lot more people helping us, and we're depending on more people than what we used to.
Okay.
Like we actually spoke about it yesterday. Was it yesterday? We were just saying like we've had a time where we've had money together, and then we were speaking like the time where we'd have like absolutely nothing, and we're at that point right now. But being here, it's not a bad thing. Like we knew when we left SA, like it was gonna be tough, but until it really happens, and it's like, damn, like at least we have each other through this. Because when you move to another country, especially America, where it's so expensive, like we sold everything we have, but in rand to dollar, we didn't make like our money's worth as for just living here for a few months. So it's been extremely tough now that like we were supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight during this quarantine time, and something that we were kind of depending on. And luckily, we're hoping and praying that my fight still goes through. That'll be a nice check.
We were supposed to fight March 6th.
Yeah.
But then
Sure.
there was some difficulties. But
yeah,
we still, you know, we're still in the car. The car is still going.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a weird scenario because I suppose in the fight game, like these things happen all the time. Like opponents get injured and you get injured and things go wrong and stuff like that. But this one is completely separate. It's completely out of everybody's hands. There's no injury. There's no it's just this crazy scenario that everyone just has to kind of press pause and wait to see what happens.
No, I don't think it's the way inactivity that's the problem now. I mean, I've been inactive. I've kind of been inactive the last 2-3 years. I've been having like 1 or 2 fights a year, which is not good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to be more active, but the only thing is now there's no fight money coming in, and there's no work money coming in. It's just training at the house now.
Yeah, just training at the house.
Maybe it will force us to be more strict on the diet. Like training at the house means skinny, sexy Jp.
Budgeting forced calorie restriction, eh?
Yeah.
No carbs. Like this quarantine, we're like, okay, some days we're so motivated. We're like, all right, we're gonna not eat anything bad. We're gonna get up. We're gonna do our
like
training
today.
sessions. Yeah, and then you wake up and it's like, geez, you hear on the news, okay, another 2 weeks. Like it was supposed to be April 30th, then they come out saying, okay, no, it's May 20th now. So like, how are you supposed to stay motivated during that? Like it's like we stay motivated. We do our work, but when it comes to the food, for the people out there dieting and stuff, like it's just no point for them. Like I understand maintaining a healthy diet, but it is tough out here.
You got to get what you can, eh? You got to get what you can.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you guys about Fortis MMA. It seemed like you guys arrived. I mean, Fortis was kind of like this whole momentum was growing, and it just all of a sudden everyone knows who they are. It's this massive gym with all of these wins and fighters in the UFC, and what's that been like going? I mean, you guys are not. You're quite familiar with big camps, but ending up in the one that's riding so high at the moment.
Well, do you want to speak first?
Yeah, you go.
For me, it's really nice. Like I lived in Las Vegas for a long time, and then when I moved to South Africa, I was with, like the best team in Africa. And now being here with Fortis, it's definitely different. I mean, being around those kind of group of individuals, like we do our conditioning together, our trainings. We don't have as many sessions as we did in South Africa, but these sessions that we do with this team, we have 4 pro practices a week, and those 4 pro practices are like the toughest sessions I've ever done in my life. Like it was a really big transition for me going to that kind of gym compared to from South Africa and even in Vegas, but it's definitely the top level gym in the world for sure compared to what I've been through, but that's good.
You know, like Shai said, we have 4 pro practices, which that is 4 days of hard martial arts. You know, like technique, all of that. We get that, and we do extra sessions. I mean, we still do 14 sessions a week. Shai and I, we go to jiu-jitsu sessions. Like the gym still offers everything, but you as an individual kind of have to take responsibility and make sure you work on what needs to be worked on. And then our pro practices, which is run by the head coach, that's where he has the final say. He tells you what to do, and you need to piece it together. No, that's kind of the way it is. It's I kind of want to say it's like more to the military style. Like the coach tells you what to do, how to do it, when to do it. We keep quiet. We say yes sir, no sir. We do the job, and that's it. You know, even though it's like you said, the momentum went up, and they're like the best team in the world now, or amongst the best teams in the world currently with all the wins. It doesn't change. All the guys come in there. They keep quiet. It's really like no gym I've ever been to actually. Like guys come there, you greet each other. It's good. You all mates and all of that. But on the mat, it's a different intensity. You're there to get your work done. Everyone's on the same goal, and you push each other hard. Man. Like
I've never been pushed as hard as I've been in my life.
You get pushed to the limit.
Like you know you're a fighter until you go to Fortis. And I'm not kidding when I say we had to fight our way onto the team. Like, this coach, I have such a different kind of level of respect for this coach because when I first met him, I was like, oh my God, this guy is scary. Like, this is the kind of coach where you don't want to talk back to him. You nothing. And when we first came, we were just almost more scared. And then you see him off the mat and the way he is and what he does for his fighters and the amount. This man, he'll never speak anything, no lies. This man is all truth. If you just know this guy, you know anything that comes out of his mouth is true. But he makes sure he has his team back. Like, he's one of those, he's a different kind of human I've ever met or had a coach like.
I guess what she's trying to say is in the gym and martial arts wise, he makes you, he makes sure that you know where you're at.
Okay.
You know, he makes sure that you don't get a bubble head, because at the end of the day, no one cares. And one big thing he believes on is no one cares, and you need to get the shit done. And you need to win. You know, you can be a superstar, but it all can get taken away if you get knocked out once.
Yeah.
You become the highlight reel. So, like, you make sure, and the team makes sure that you're focused. Everyone stays humble, and you know your place, you know. And then off the mat, you get treated completely different. Then coach makes sure that you're taken care of, you're in the right mind space, you have whatever you need. I mean, I came out here, we didn't know anyone, we didn't know anything, we didn't have money, and I needed a dentist, I got injured, I needed a doctor, I got sick, and I mean, yeah, we've seen it all, and whatever I needed off the mat, I would just message him, and he would get it for me free of charge. You know, like, he really goes out of his way to help us and make us feel comfortable. So, on the mat, you're dealing with one character, coach is going to be on your case. Yeah. Off the mat, he's going to still be on your case, but he makes sure that you're taken care of. So he's like, he really guides us. Like,
he's really like a father.
Keeps us on the path.
Awesome, man. That's awesome, guys. That sounds really cool. What I wanted to say to you is, you guys are both like kind of aligning your stars for the UFC. I mean, you're fighting in promotions that have got a very close link, a direct link to the UFC. You're with a coach who's obviously he got quite a lot of pull with a lot of a big roster of guys and girls in the UFC. Is it a different motivation now? Almost like you can kind of smell that paperwork from the UFC coming, so it's like that's becoming a little bit more realer now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to earn your space. Like as we came out, coach said a thing that stuck with Shy and I, and he said to us, "Listen, the lion is more hungry, is gonna eat." So that's the kind of way it is. If you're in the gym, you gotta put in your hard work, and if your hard work pays off in the gym, and coach can see that you do what he says, he's gonna make things happen for you. And I mean, we've proved ourselves. We showed our talent. There's very high level guys in the gym. There's us. We're all like continuously trying to push each other to be the best. And that way we kind of prove ourselves in the gym whether we're ready to fight or not.
Okay.
And I mean, there's all level fighters on the mat. We have, like you said, multiple, I think 15, 20 UFC fighters on the mat. And I mean, any fighter wants to be amongst the big dogs, you know, and any fighter wants to be seen amongst those guys. So for Shy and I, that we are not in the UFC, it's definitely something that motivates us daily to push harder, to prove our worth, and to actually get to the point where we can be like, yo, like, we're all on the same level now. Like, we're trying to still fight in that circle. We train amongst everyone and all of that, but we need to get to the UFC.
Sure.
For me, being back in America, like, living in Las Vegas, like, I not spelled it, but I was around that a lot more, especially being in Las Vegas. Like, I gotta go to the tough gym lots of times, train out of there. So for me, when I went to SA, like, I didn't smell that for a while. Like, now that we moved here and we're around that environment, it just gives us that little extra push also, like, saying, like, hey, we're not where we want to be with them, and we need to show that we're ready at all times. And I mean, regardless, we do that anyways year round. You know, that's just the kind of athletes we are. But being around this again, it definitely gives us a little fire.
It can come like this.
Yeah, it can come like here compared to in South Africa, where you're not going to get that phone call. Like, people forgot about me when I was there, as if, like, you know, you really are, like our new coach tells us, you're a nobody. And I didn't really realize that till, I would say, being there. Like, people, even sponsors just can give up on you like this. Like, people I've known forever just give up on you like this, because there's so many fighters in the world. Like, you know, you really have to be a Conor McGregor or something. You know, you really do.
There's many guys out there, man, and you need to be something special to get a phone call from a crazy place, you know.
Yeah.
And even with that, you still have that thing like, is my visas in order? Do I have the right visas to earn money internationally? So being out in South Africa is kind of like you're holding on and wishing for that dream and that phone call to happen, and you're like, it can't happen, and you're holding on to that. But the reality is, if you get phoned with a two-week notice or something, yeah, you can be ready, you can make weight, you have a visa for that country, but that doesn't mean you can earn in that country.
Yeah. So for like him, we handed in his paperwork in January for his visa. But so when you hand in your residency visa application, you get like a work card and a travel permit 4 to 8 months like after you submit your application. So for one, if anyone moving out of the country to America wants to get their visa, be prepared. You can't earn an income for those 4 to 8 months after you hand in your paperwork, which we didn't know that, for one.
Sure.
And two, now that there's quarantine, it's just going to take even longer for him to be able to get his travel and work permit. So
visas are a big issue, and I feel that's why people don't get the phone call as much, because I think visas is a bigger deal than what people think it is.
Even the UFC posted saying they needed short notice fights when this quarantine first happened, and we were ready to send our coach was ready to send an email for him, but it says on there only people with a visa.
They asked for fights, but I didn't have a visa. I mean, I was like 5 kgs overweight, and I could have made weight in a week, but
and our coach
my
paperwork
wasn't in order, and that's.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And actually, Rich was talking about this the other day. He brought it up and he's saying, like, people don't even realize, like, here, and then he said it's happened in his camp. Guys have got calls for big promotions, but the visas have been an issue. The guy's passport's lost somewhere, or, you know, it came from the DRC and his passport's nowhere to be found, and that's just the way it is. Like, it's one of those crazy scenarios, man.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's similar to, I think, the Zulu Boy thing, where his visas or something became an issue as well.
Yeah.
It is definitely a big thing, but we're still hanging in there, and it can still happen like this.
Yeah.
You know?
You're a lot closer now. You're a lot closer. Just a hop and a skip as opposed to a 12-hour flight or whatever, 18-hour.
Sure, at least you don't have to travel as much.
Yeah, exactly. Another question for you guys, besides like family, friends, that sort of thing, what are the things you miss most about SA?
Food.
Food.
Sure. Yeah.
And the coffee.
Pizza for sure.
And Dicio's pizza.
No, and aloe tomato.
Aloe tomato, yeah.
Nice.
Coffee.
For sure, the coffee. And
really? Hey, I thought maybe America would sure have some good coffee going around.
Yeah.
They do, but it's not like how in SA it's everywhere. Like in America, you have to go to like the nice places to get good coffee. You know, like for us, Starbucks is our regular, and Starbucks is nothing.
Boo.
Yeah, that's like the main place.
What else?
Cream soda.
Yeah. Coke Zero.
Yeah.
You don't have Coke Zero in America. What's going on there? What kind of?
But it's way different. The taste, and I don't drink soda, but in SA I would drink Coke Zero. It's like way different. It's like super there, and like less acid, acidity or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, like less soda.
Less bubbles, I guess.
Yeah.
Shit.
Nice.
That's it. I don't miss having grocery store. stores and everything closed super early. Don't miss that. Yeah, here when we first came back, I forgot like how the grocery stores will stay open until like midnight, 1 a.m. And I'm like, oh my god, wait, we can't get groceries. And I'm like, wait, we're in America.
That's because your groceries should be done already.
What I do miss, other than that, is just how easy I had it. You know, I don't think people know how easy they have it there in South Africa. You know, I mean, people work, train, chill, eat, do everything on a daily basis in the same facility. You know, everyone goes to Rich and he gives everything on a platter. You know, here we gotta train in our backyard because we can't pay gym fees at like 4 different gyms. Like, I think
that is a big deal, man. And I think Richard said it a few times before. It's you're not going to get babysit over there. You're gonna have to figure out a lot of things on your own, and it's quite hectic. And there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of guys and girls in gyms, and there's fighters ready to step up at any moment all over the place. So for it being easier in terms of visas and geographically, it's also always going to be that much harder as well, you know. So it's pros and cons.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is. But it's a good thing that we did move before all this happened, and we are happy we're finally settled in. Like, we have a nice house here. Like, our dog, we got another dog. So like, there's a lot of pros to. Yeah, we got an.
Sometimes you have like 5 dogs in this small house.
Actually,
and then yeah.
I don't know if you can see them, but they're
I saw them, Nana.
huddled over there.
Living the dream, eh? Living the dream.
You know what I don't miss? I don't miss taxis. I don't.
Come on, makes it exciting, man.
No, and shit. What's easy is I can order my groceries online, and they.
Yeah, you can do that here as well, dude. No problem.
Yeah, you gotta get on. You get off your groceries.
Never, you'll be fine.
You're gonna get like 3 bananas out of the small bag.
Did you never see the Pick and Pay tuk-tuk on William Nicol? We're going to deliver some groceries. Nice. Anyways, guys, well, I hope you guys get your fights signed up and buttoned up soon, and hope everything can get back to normal pretty soon. I think you guys are a little bit ahead of us in terms of this virus. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen. They say we've got 1,500 cases, which I really struggle to believe. You know, somebody's lying. I don't know who it is, but somebody's lying. So, you know, it's going to get interesting now. But hopefully this is all over soon. We can all get back to fighting. You guys can get those UFC contracts rigged up, and we can see you kicking ass.
Sure, Ali. Thank you.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks for the time. We'll chat to you soon.
See you soon. Yep.
Ciao. Bye.